Do you do shared to timeline or shared to a group, or you do all three at the same time?
I only share it to my timeline because it won't let me share it directly to the group. It might let you share it directly to the group since you like a admin, I'm sure, like a host or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's a feature they should have.
Yeah, I think it'll let you do it just because I'm just a regular member in the group. It won't let me post it directly to the group, which is why I post it on my timeline and then just share it in the group.
Hmm. No, I think I'm live.
Y'all hear me chewing?
Nah, at least I didn't.
I'm sorry, I'm really self-conscious about that. So like, I don't also want to be chewing all loud and shit. I'm really hungry though.
Hey man, I be chewing, man. I got niggas gotta eat.
Do it like the smoke rules, man. If I'm blowing down on a Zoom call, I just mute myself for the coughs. Do the same thing for food with that strategic mute.
I got you sharing this joint right now.
Share to the groups. All right. All right, let's make some money. Hold on, I gotta put the baby stick. All right, cool. You jump on and send the links. Why am I counting up? All right. All right. Is it recording?
Is there?
All right.
It's big, bro.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of FIYAFilmz. I'm your host, LK, the God, the Deity Mogul. As you can see, we have new merchandise just came in. If you need a shirt, DM me or Nicholas Kilkelly. We can provide you with all the merchandise needs. Now, we have assembled to talk about Loki, the new Netflix show. I mean, not Netflix show, Jesus Christ. Disney Plus show.
Oh no.
The new Disney Plus show. And we decided to do 2 episodes in one because the first one we didn't have time to record it. Should make time. But we have assembled to talk some shit. And I am here with some good friends of mine. As you can see, we are the world. We are the children.
Oh,
And
this guy.
and as Kill Kelly drinking the Parmesan, as I can see the Parmesan. And Sniper Elite. Oh, Crown Royal, my bad.
Yes,
Sniper Elite, he doesn't miss, especially when it's your miss. Also, we have C Jizzle live from Liberty City, aka Puffco Poppy. What we puffing on today?
Today, we got the Northern Lights.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite indicas. Just beautiful, beautiful head brush, beautiful, beautiful relaxation, all that good stuff, man. The perfect strain to sit back and watch some premium Disney Plus entertainment.
Right. And last but not least, we have the meme lord himself, the jailbird himself. Da, 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 da. Look at the background. Look at all the beautiful art. We have Sith Lord in the building.
What's popping?
All right, so like we said, we are talking about Loki today. First off, everybody, how do y'all feel about the show so far? Let's start with Sniper.
Bro, this joint's fire, bro. Like, this joint's fire. Production value is through the roof, man. Like, Marvel, Disney really stepped their game up. Owen Wilson came in the clutch. Like, I didn't even see him coming with the level of, like, this man came through. His character is great. Morbius. That's a wild name. This is the best Marvel show so far. 2 episodes in. It's the best one.
Okay. Sith Lord.
Yeah, I agree with Nick. I definitely caught on real quick after episode 1, and coming out the gate with like 2 episodes, it's super interesting versus like WandaVision. They kind of like hit you on it's kind of boring, but it got better later. But no, Loki came out the gate like guns blazing, like, hey, we're about to do this, and I definitely want to see where they're going to take this, if it's going to tie into the next phase for the MCU or not. So I'm here for it. I'm all for it.
Okay, Jizzle.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Like I'm not gonna fake on it. I think it's on the higher tier of like the Marvel. Like I always talk about how like Marvel is the model of consistency. Like almost everything they have is like a 7 or 8 at all times. Like maybe some people have their favorites that they might say are like a 9, but like I don't think they do anything like 10 out of 10, but they never go below a 7. And I think this is on like that higher end. I think it is in like so far like in the WandaVision range, like a little better, start a little faster, as you said. And it's hella interesting. Like I said, they got me. Like I mean, I'm on board. I want to see where this goes. 6 episodes. This is supposed to have the most impact on the movies and the rest of the MCU. So I'm with it.
All right. So as you can see in the first episode that we didn't record for, Loki gets, he takes the Tesseract and he goes to, I forgot where he went, but
went to like Mongolia.
Mongolia. Yeah. And the TVA came and snatched him. And we basically find out that there is a sacred timeline that is pruned often, that cannot be altered, that shouldn't be altered. And whenever there is a variant, aka Loki or somebody else, they go prune him. Now, Sith Lord, what is the method that they use to prune people with? How do they prune them?
So first of all, you have this before they beat your ass and like wherever you're at with them nightsticks, because that was comedy gold right there. They throw a choker on you with the person with the control. They're over here like, you try to attack me, I'm gonna just you like poof back a second, and you're just like, what's going on? Actually, no, hold on, I forgot. Loki also got put in slow-mo time, and he was getting whipped. He was moving like, what'd she say, at like 0.54 a second? Or
yeah, he was like,
and
she was like, you gonna feel all of it the whole time.
All of it. And I'm just like, oh, that's just brutal right there. So after that, they throw the choker on him. Every time he tries to do something wild, she'll just beep beep buttons back, and you go back into like 1 second back, so you're stuck on stupid, man. Then they take you to the great paradise, which is that crappy office. That looks really stupid, but I mean, hey, it's cool at the same time. I love the aesthetic of that.
It's like an odd mix of like old school office work, but then the future at the same time.
Exactly. I'm here for that aesthetic. But yeah, they process you. They're like, hey, you went off the sacred timeline, and that's a no-no. So sorry, you gotta die. Short, sweet, simple.
That's extreme.
It is. It's really extreme. Like your judge, jury, and executioner is like sitting in front of you, looking down at you, and you're just like, oh man, I didn't. Okay. I mean, hey, it would kind of suck, if you fucked up time on accident, but geez, man, like that's the way to go.
Yeah, the time travel, like me and CJ had a very long, interesting conversation that we should have recorded about time and how divisive it is and how much of a trope it is. And he actually called it. He actually called what was going to happen, because we talked about the things that are definitely going to happen versus the timeline of, is constantly changing, constantly flowing, and everything branches off. But we actually talked about the Pompeii incident, how, that was always going to happen regardless of what anybody did. And they did that in the show, which was interesting. I was like, damn, he called this whole thing. You know,
Watched a lot of Doctor Who, man. I watched a lot of Doctor Who over the years. One of my favorite shows. So like, I mean, it's a show based on time travel on every which version of it. So that automatically got me like hooked into Loki. And but one of the issues, like you said, with it is why I didn't love the first episode as much as I like the second one, because the first one is bogged down with a ton of exposition to explain how their time travel works, how these branching timelines are going to work, the sacred timeline, catching Loki up to his character development in all the movies, and basically showing him highlight package of his movies to catch up and all his key moments. So like, I feel like that bogged down the first episode a little bit, even though it was necessary to set up the rest of the series so they don't have to keep going over it or stop so many times to explain. Just push the exposition up front in the first episode, and then we can just get to the good stuff, which is I think where we got to. And like I said, they definitely use kind of the Doctor Who things of like fixed events in time, like how the Loki variant is using the apocalypses, as we'll get to hide their activities, because certain things are going to happen inevitably, and if you know they're going to happen, kind of using that to your advantage. So far I think the time travel stuff has been simplified. You know, they're not trying to get too deep in the weeds, which is smart, but also it's been simple enough and fun enough so far. I think they've handled it pretty well.
I agree. They had to explain how time travel works in the Marvel universe, and that definitely took at least 30 minutes of that first episode to set up properly.
Especially for the people who haven't seen Endgame either. So like they didn't remember, you know, people who didn't see the Ancient Ones explanation, they had to do a more detailed version of the sacred timeline and what happens when you divert and what variants are and how variants work and, you know, all that.
So what you just said actually posed a good question. The Ancient One might have been aware of the time police for the TBA.
Possibly, because they gave basically the same explanation as the Miss Minute lady of, you know, the timelines. If you go out of a timeline, it creates a branching timeline. It could, you know, it could cause chaos, which is why the Avengers went back meticulously to put their stones back, even though Cap made a detour to get some cheeks. But apparently that was part of the plan for the sacred timeline.
Yeah.
the timekeepers wanted him to get those cheeks. So
the gods wanted him to hit that jump.
Hey, that's crazy when the gods are like, you know what? We wanted you to get that. That's funny.
This is for you. Okay. All right. You talk about what we can skip over Trinity Stones.
I mean, we can
female Loki.
Oh,
potentially.
Yeah,
now,
there's some
I have some theories. I did some research about this, and you know, the whole mind control aspect. First clue that I got, the mind control aspect. I look up Loki's powers on the Wikipedia. He does not have mind control. You know who does? Enchantress.
Yeah.
Clue number 2. They said the word enchantment. Like, I like that enchantment you put on.
Up.
Yes. Clue number 3. He called her Loki. She said, "Oh, I hate that." Clue number 4. He said, "I would never treat me like this." So I kind of think it's Enchantress. What do you think, KB?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not huge on Enchantress. Enchantress. So I'm looking her up. Don't get me wrong. I'm doing my research right now because I was like, this person. And based off of what I'm seeing, I like that.
Yeah, it's actually some more evidence that even goes to your theory, because I saw some other people sleuthing this on the internet, and in the international credits for the show, it says Sylphie as her name and not like a Loki variant. And Sylphie is the name of one of the enchantresses, the most recent enchantress of the comics. So that I definitely feel some enchantress vibes where the Lady Loki thing could be a misdirect. It could be, you know, that this is not a variant of Loki, but this is some version of the enchantress that, you know, has some dealings with Loki, or, you know, there are a lot of different ways it could go. But when they said enchantment, and then, you know, as the clues you said before, there's something that's a little off other than just being a straight Loki female variant. There's something obviously different about this one that has a beef where she's like, this is not about you, or this isn't about you. So who is it about? I got so many questions. I'm really interested into where they're going with this, you know, Lady Loki or Enchantress or some combination of the two.
So there is an argument that it's potentially both in one body, because when Loki dies and resurrects into the original Lady Loki, he goes into the body of an already living Asgardian. So if Enchantress is technically a living Asgardian, could potentially possibly be both in one body. Or, you know, a different iteration of Loki. But I definitely believe that they're going to go with the Enchantress line, just based off like looking at her aesthetic and what she's capable of. But it's also hard too, because Loki is so nerfed in the MCU that's like maybe they added him a power, but he, you know, I don't know. But I kind of like the idea of Enchantress more than just female Loki, or maybe Enchantress becomes female Loki.
And go ahead.
No, they also made a point to make a point, like you said, about the power set of Loki, where they're like all the variants have different powers, but all of them share like a base of, you know, power set, like, you know, the illusions and all that. But they made a point to say the variants all have different powers. That, you know, the Loki. So like, and we saw Loki. I don't think, have we ever seen Loki use telekinesis? Like he whipped the Zumba to him in the fight. There are some abilities that we've seen from him.
Yeah, that was the first.
Like, yeah, I don't think we've seen, you know, all of his abilities, or like, he was making the distinction between projections and duplicates and stuff like that. So, you know, Loki can make some Naruto shadow clones. There's some stuff he can do that I think, you know, we're going to see.
To be honest, I like that they added more powers to his resume, because Loki's nerfed as hell in the MCU.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the heroes are. Yeah, they don't want to go too over the top for budget reasons. So he's basically just been casting illusions for the most part.
Right, and I'm like, bro, like Loki's still an Asgardian warrior and a frost giant's king's child. Like, homeboy is powerful, but they just make him get slapped by everybody pretty much.
Ice run. So
the
ice run.
Everybody got nerfed.
Yeah, but he got heavily nerfed, bro. Like, Loki gets slapped by everyone.
Yeah.
So, do y'all think the TVA is evil?
I think they're shady. I think there's something up with them. I don't think they're what they say they are.
Depends on your definition of evil. They're not. Is doing what you want to do that benefits your life the best possible way technically evil? Like, they're doing what's best. The TVA are cogs. They're workers. They're worker bees. If you work for a company that's corrupt, but you don't know it's corrupt, are you corrupt?
Yeah.
You know? No. What? No. You just, that means, like, you know, niggas work for the government and they're not corrupt per se, but just because maybe the politician that they serve is corrupt or whatever have you, like, the timekeepers themselves are doing what they know will benefit them the most by keeping a timeline going that makes them the strongest or untouchable, but they're not as strong as what they want you to believe they are.
I got a hot take. I don't think the timekeepers exist.
Well, no, they definitely exist. They're just weak. They're not weak, but they're weaker.
Anytime we can't see them, like where there's always an excuse why you can't take a meeting with them or why nobody's seen them, then they're sketchy, bro. Like, there's something going on where they're not what they say they are, or they don't really exist, or there's some Wizard of Oz shit going on here where they're
facts on the Wizard of Oz.
It's gonna be like some Mandarin moment where it's just like a dude just behind this or something. There's something off. Whenever there's an organization where no one gets to see, it's like a cult. You know what I'm saying? Like, where even your boy Mobius was like, you know, it seems like he's never met or seen the timekeepers, and he is even a little skeptical, even though he believes in the mission. Like, you know, there's something off here. These dudes are sketchy.
Yeah, for me, it's like, I bet the timekeepers are probably like making sure that there's a timeline where they don't get bodied by Kang or something. Like, they're just like not nearly as powerful as we think they are, and they're just trying to make themselves, you know, just off the strength that they had all those Infinity Stones. They're, you know, they control
Bro.
a dimension.
Infinity Stone paperweights.
But it's not because they don't work. It's because they have a separate nexus area in time where they don't correlate. So it's like they're not as power. Like they're trying to make themselves seem bigger than life or bigger than like the other gods. But like Thor could probably body one.
So I did watch the show the second time before I started the call, and I took some notes when Mobius was talking to Renslayer, and he mentioned your other favorite variant, and the analyst can keep on the side. So I think those are references for Kizad.
Yeah, because Kang is her love interest in the comics. So, or if I believe that's correct. So, I mean, there's definitely seeding. I don't know if he's going to show up in the show or anything, but they're definitely seeding for him in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Like, you can't do all this time stuff and have it not be related to Kang. Like, he is the time dude. So, like, if we're getting all these time disturbances, he is in some way associated with the TV. I like your theory, Nick, that maybe Kang wiped them out already, and they're just trying to keep a lid on it. And it might be like a Castlevania situation, like when they're, the last season where the people are in the underground city or whatever, and it's like you can't meet the king and queen, but they were dead as hell the whole time. Like, it could be one of those situations.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, if Kang was going to be introduced, because, like, thinking about, like, he is the time guy. So did the TVA ever, like, go ahead and say, hey, let's go try and get this guy? But, like, they're always getting flossed, like, like how, Loki's doing.
In the comic, time is kind of like a business, in the sense of, like, Kang isn't the only one that rules over time, but, like, the three timekeepers are not as powerful as Kang individually. But Kang's he's kind of like, I mind my own business. Like, I focus on my own little area, but, like, don't come over here because you will get bodied. So, like, Mobius has interactions with Kang, but never, like, really works for Kang. So, yeah, like, I feel like the timekeepers are like, they're trying to stay in their lane and keep a timeline going where they are perceived as almighty, but they know that they're not, because Kang is the big time dude.
Right. Very studious. Very studious. Thank you, Nick, for that great opinion. I do like that. I agree with that also. Better code, Baron Zemo or Loki?
Zemo got that, man. Bro. Zemo got the code. Zemo was swaggy with it, bro. Zemo was swaggy with it, bro. That was crazy.
Zemo coat so fresh, you almost forget he's a Nazi.
Right. I'll be honest with you. You right. Because for a minute there, I was rooting for Zemo.
He definitely is a Nazi.
Yeah, you see that drip? He's like, maybe. Oh, wait, damn, he a Nazi. Damn, never mind.
You see the drip, you see the whips, you see the plane. He was like, hey, this thing is Zemo fly.
Hey, man, he could be the White Panther. You heard what he said about Trouble, man. Come on, Nick.
Hey,
White Panther moment.
Hey, look, if Zemo, he a reformed Nazi.
White Panther is back.
All right. Bucky was White Panther.
There could be more than one White Panthers.
Stop that.
Jesus Christ.
Stop that. I don't know what I don't know what's up with this fantasy with this White Panther.
What, man? I'm just telling you. You saw in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you saw the way Sarah was looking at Bucky. You saw the way she was looking at him. That was crazy. Like, she you know what I'm saying? She was like, you know what I'm saying? You been to Wakanda, bro? And he's like, yeah, I've been to Wakanda. She was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I got a boat for you to dock. All right, who's really pulling the strings? What happened? You okay, KB?
I'm good. I wanted to say, you know, panthers are really like color variants of like leopards and jaguars, right? I think that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Not to change the subject, but go ahead. Animal facts, I'll be on those. I flex with that.
Who do y'all think is really pulling the strings?
Go ahead, KB.
I wanna jump on a off a limb here, and don't hate me, but like after how we were just talking about Kang, I want to say him. I would want to. Like I really want Marvel to take a nasty step and just like, you know what, let's do this. Let's shock everybody. Like this episode, like this TV series where like, you think that this is a good organization, wrong. Just like, with Falcon and Winter Soldier with what was her name again? Because I know we did this before where we don't.
Yeah, I forgot her name though. I forgot her name. I know who you're talking about, KB.
Power Broker?
But I forgot her name.
Power Broker.
Yeah. We talked about that yesterday. We literally just talked about that yesterday.
Definitely did talk about that yesterday.
You're right. But yeah, like I want them to go out on a limb and say like, you know what, Kang is doing this, Kang's controlling this. Like if they can just put like a slight spin into comics, like the comic origin, I'm fine with that as long as they don't go real wild crazy like time travel through the quantum zone. But I mean, hey, we're not gonna speak on all of this, like Ultron not being made by Tim, but I mean, hey, we can let's look for something good. That's my thoughts. I'm sticking with that. If it's not true, I mean, hey.
So you're angling for a last episode Kang showing up like Thanos with the gauntlet. I'll have this myself type.
Exactly. If it's an end credit scene or the last 2 minutes of the episode, and it's like, all right, let's do this. I'm the new baddie. Hey, I'm fine with that.
So I'm kind of with KB in the sense of like, I liked all that, but the only difference would be the ending in the sense of like, there are no timekeepers. It was only Kang the whole time, just pulling the strings. Like I set all this up, created this whole organization just to like trick niggas. Like I'm the big bad out here.
And my boo thing is really like my second in command. Like you did.
Thanks.
He was definitely like the judge, jury, and executioner all in one. Like for that type of role, I mean, like who's thing was he?
I really can't see. I really can't see 3 10-foot tall CGI lizard monsters showing up at the end and Loki arguing with them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of not even to change the topic, I would like to point out that like when they talked about the point about like Mobius's existence, how he just like woke up in the TBA, like all those niggas don't know how they got there. Like they're all.
We got a WandaVision situation going on.
That's what I'm saying. Like they're all. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna go the clone route, but he was like, yeah, I found this is where I've always been, and blah blah blah. They've been there for eternity and don't even realize like they have nothing else. They can't do anything else.
Yeah, I believe in the comics, aren't they clones? I think they are.
Clones. Yeah, in the comic, they're all clones.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it might that might be the hint of why he doesn't remember how he got there and like the coasters and stuff, or he's just like all the coasters. Maybe those are different clones that put the coasters down and they all forget, and because they're all the same. When he was talking about like the him not using a coaster on the desk, and the side analyst could just be a clone of Mobius, maybe.
Oh, see, I'm glad you read that line.
My favorite variant line came from when she was talking about the coaster. I thought she was talking about Kang, or he was talking about Kang.
Yeah,
what were you about to say, Nick?
I thought she was talking about I thought she was talking about a variant Mobius.
No, kill. What if they all are variants and they just work for him? Kill. Wow.
Exactly. What if like those were all the variants that like, they were like, you know what? We need the help. So all we're going to do is like erase all of your memories and you now work here. Like I really think they're just like kidnap people from different time zones.
Thanks. It's like, you know what? If we can't use you, we just time obliterate you. But the ones that we can use, these clones or different variants or whatever, you guys all just work here for the rest of eternity.
Like homeboy in the first episode who got disintegrated.
Yeah, the Goldman Sachs guy. Oh, I have a bit of trivia here, everybody. The mind controlled agent the one with the dreadlocks, the shorty.
Yeah.
That mind control agent, she was on Utopia. That was on Amazon Prime. It was a good show, but it got canceled while it was airing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like next day, gone. Like they didn't even want to. And it was like a pandemic type show, like a deadly virus out here killing people, like multiple deadly viruses. Like, yeah, you can't.
That got played out real quick, honestly. Like once the pandemic hit, everybody was coming out with a pandemic show. So I'm with it.
Yeah,
I'm
even all the
canceled.
past like James Bond, Mission Impossible, was like, oh, we got a biological agent. Like nobody won't watch that shit no more. We actually lived through it.
Not even lived through it. We are living it currently.
Living it. All right, so they like we said before, the variant female Loki or Lady Loki or Enchantress or Mephisto, if you want to call it that.
Jesus Christ! Don't do the Mephisto, bro. Don't even do it.
That was a reach.
In the first episode, they showed that devil, but I feel like that was that classic Marvel bullshit misdirect that like was gonna go nowhere.
Some people said that was Loki, like that was like a frost giant with the blue tongue situation going on.
I've heard them call it Nightmare, but I was like, "There's no way that's Nightmare either."
He'll be in the jump, Multiverse of Madness. But we see that the variant was hiding in a horrible future in 2050 where a hurricane, tsunami or something destroyed what was it? Alabama. It was Alabama. And that's where she was hiding out at. And they were at a Roxcart grocery store. And what is Roxcart from?
I don't know, but this show just ruined any idea I've had of living in Alabama in the next 25 years.
Yeah, like that was a horrible looking future.
It's like an offshoot of Roxxon. Roxxon, the big ass evil Exxon. Well, Exxon is evil in real life, but the Marvel version of Exxon, ExxonMobil, corrupt big ass oil company that has a ton of shady dealings. They were the villain of Cloak and Dagger, I believe, too, or how they got their powers or something.
Yeah, you're right.
To that too. And they were a big part of the Jane Foster Thor run as well. Yeah, so just big ass evil corporation. So it seems like their Walmart or their version of that. And I love how many of the apocalypses were just climate change, where it's just like, I mean, it wasn't like crazy shit. It's just like humans destroying their own planet like we're doing now. So that's an example of that, where it's just like, it's just global warming and Alabama's getting flooded because of course the fuck it is. It's like that's...
Yeah, like would they consider like an apocalypse, like I don't want to bring that up, but like the Hiroshima bombing and World War II, like is that like, what if someone was hiding there? What if this show takes us that extreme, or like all the variants are still hiding in apocalypses? Like would that count? Like would you just like go there real quick to like duck dodge and then dip out of there? Like
I'm glad they actually gave us like an explanation on what they consider an apocalypse, or like everyone in that whole vicinity dies instantly and there are no survivors, like a Pompeii, or I think the nuclear bomb would count as an apocalypse for those cities in Japan, like because I mean you nuked them to hell and there's not going to be any survivors in that vicinity. So I think apocalypse isn't like world ending, it's just like catastrophic shit where everyone in a discernible distance dies all and there are no survivors.
So do you think you would hide in the Thanos battle on Earth?
Technically, they could, honestly, because that's apocalypse level event.
Yeah, I can see that. Because it can't nothing change time. Like, if something is supposed to happen to the Earth, it's always going to happen. Nobody can stop that.
Yeah,
technically,
like a hurricane, a volcano, like you can't stop that. That's the act of nature.
If something is supposed to happen in the, because remember, they're only allowing things to happen in the main continuity, whereas they're clearly aware of other continuities. They just obliterate them as they catch them on a daily basis. The ones that they know about, because there are variant universes that are still alive, but those variant universes are ones that aren't going to go to war with them per se.
So I was watching a review and they posed a good question. It was like, is Steve Rogers a time variant? Because it kind of is, right?
No.
Yes, he would. He's a time variant that they have allowed to be okay with because he doesn't. So I watched a video that like basically explained it as only universes that would potentially have events that might cause them to go to a multiversal war get destroyed. So Steve Rogers going back and doing his thing is allowed to happen because it wouldn't cause a multiversal level event.
Yeah, it makes sense though, because he put the stone back, but like him beating Peggy Carter's cheeks in an alternate universe doesn't really throw the timeline into imminent chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty self-contained rather than like
Right. Very small bubble.
Oh my God. Like the fact that he was always supposed to smash each other, like it's really jarring. And they did have a Easter egg, like it's a real quick shot, but it's supposed to be Peggy Carter, like she's brought in.
No, that's not Peggy. I hate the fact that people thought that's not Peggy Carter, yo.
It kind of looked like her though. If it wasn't her, it was like a nod. I think they definitely wanted people to get people talking. You know,
I didn't catch it quick enough, so you could have convinced me. Like, oh shit, I guess it was her. They brought in goddamn Punisher too.
Talking. And then even that, like clearly she was about to get dusted. So
yeah, man, those cheeks came at a price. She got that cap dick, but you know what I'm saying? She getting erased from time for it.
Just perpetually getting erased from time.
Spit all over my laptop with this nigga helmet.
Hey man, this man risked it all. He risked the multiverse to get those cheeks, man. He waited a long time. My man said, "I don't care."
Multiversal simp.
Jesus Christ.
He had a plan. I'll take. He volunteered quick. I'll take all the stones back. Well, no, I'll take them. No, me. I got this.
I'll take stones back. Yeah, give me the hammer. I mean the other hammer. Don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna take any quick detours to go beat cheeks in the 1940s or something or whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna take a detour, all right. She's gonna take a detour when I get there. You heard?
Jeez. This man gave up the future for some cheeks.
Hey man, listen, it was the accent. He went crazy for the accent. All right, is that all the notes, fellas?
Hey, whole time he did make out with her like great-great-granddaughter though.
You can't get over that. Like, how do you get over that?
That's what I'm saying.
How would you get over that? Why did he go smack at her great-granddaughter and then went back in time? That's a double windmill.
But what if that is his great-granddaughter? Then I'd just be like, oh. Because
no, paradox. That's a paradox.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be.
These are things that's supposed to happen. Like he was supposed to go back in time.
Now, CJ, you remember the grandfather paradox?
The grandfather paradox.
So if you go back in time to smash your grandmother, do you?
Going full Futurama now.
He went back in time to smash his great-grand.
Hey man, like I said, we saw this in Futurama, man. Like it's just like the reverse grandfather paradox. Instead of killing your grandfather, you like become your own grandfather. It's fucking
you become your own grandfather. Game of Thrones is like a word with this intergalactic incest that's going on.
That'll be George R. R. Martin's time travel story.
And on that note,
everybody, is that all the notes, everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
That's all I got.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. But once again, we have to let you know we have Fire Squad merch on sale. All you got to do is DM me or KB or CJ or Nicholas, and you can get some new merch. We are Fire Squad, and this has been FIYAFilmz. I've been your host, LK the God, the Deity Mogul. I've been here with Sniper Elite, C Jizzle, Puffco Poppy, and Sith Lord. Everybody, thank you. We have new content coming. Go listen to Wayne and Maine. Go listen to Smoke and Fire. Go listen to Fire Fade Away. Go follow the feeds. Go subscribe, like, comment on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple so it fixes our algorithms and gets us more listeners. Thank you. Go tell someone you love them. Gang.
Gang.
Not bad.
This man